My name is Daniel Such. I'm a lieutenant here at Twin District, and we're going to be going over our fast team equipment and how to use the rip pack and swap out our face piece. For fast team, more specifically, we're going to be going over the equipment that we carry on each of our fast team designated trucks. Which is going to be engine 3, rescue 7. And on top of that, later on, we're going to be going over the rip pack. And I want everyone to do an evolution of actually putting a mask on someone. So we're going to have volunteers, probably our explorers, because they're pretty great at that. So just a couple of things. We have these up on the walls. Usually they're up on the walls, right now they're there. So we're going to go over our fast benchmarks, which the first, so our benchmarks are our first team has entered the building. Second, team has located the victim. Third benchmark, victim status. We're looking to see if they're conscious, they're breathing, their airways patented, and if they're entrapped in any way in any of the in the building. The fourth one, we want to have an exit plan, so that's basically how will the victim and your team be coming out of the building. And then the fifth is team and victim are out. You want to make sure that you tell command or tell whoever that the team is out with the victim. At the bottom of that, you see we use benchmarks because it allows the entry team to focus on their duties without having to give repeated updates with nothing new to report. So it's just basically, so we have our own checklists, we have our own objectives, whatever else is going on in the fire, whether that be suppression or ventilation, we don't care about that. What we care about is getting that firefighter out of the building who's in danger. And a good thing to note is we might be activated and but we get to the door and they could self-extricate from whatever problem they have. So it could just be a firefighter that gets lost in the building and they call Mayday out. As we're gearing up to go in, their own team finds them and they're like, hey, you're okay. So that's just something we also have to think about. We already activated, might not be used. So then we have the fast positions and duties. So for the entry team, first we have the search, hand tool, and thermal camera. Second person is the officer, supervise, lays tether, and makes tactical decisions. Third is the pack mule, they're carrying the equipment. Fourth, backup, paired with 5 for relief, bringing in tools they're searching from another entry point, and 5 is also backup. Outside team, command liaison, communicate with team. Channel 6 is our fast team channel. And command structure, supervise team if team leader is doing entry. And then support, relief, if fast qualified, ready for equipment, change bottles, throw ladders, prep, prepare exit way. So just based on the number of people that we have on the trucks, right now what we have going for primary fast team is engine 3 and 5 and 1, just because of the COVID rule. So we might have more people that are going that are made into teams, but it could, we just lays out so that we have people and we have positions for everyone. So, that out of the way. So in the back compartment of engine 3, we have our, this is our fast team designated compartment. In the middle is the sliding tray, where our Stokes basket is located. That has most of the equipment that we'll be using. One of the important things that's in there is the rip pack. Like I said, we'll be going over that later. In there we also, for engine 3's Stokes basket, we have the dolly, which helps us cart this long ways away from the truck, which has come in handy a lot of times. We also have our AED and our cardiac bag just in case there is a cardiac problem or an airway problem with the patient or with the firefighter that's inside. We have to extricate them. Along with that, we do have an oxygen tank that's full, and it has an emergency BBM in there as well, so that if they are having a breathing issue, we can, provide oxygen to them ourselves. On top of that, we have an accountability board. So that lets us know that lets the officer, whatever officer needs to know who is going in the building. That's where we put our tags on this, and we just help keep accountability that way amongst ourselves as well. We also have 2 rope bags specifically for this. We have I believe this is 50 feet of rope, then 150 feet of rope, with a set of carabiners on there as well, all swivel carabiners, and some pulleys as well. We have a tarp in case we need to put down our tools, and it's like a muddy or rainy area, just so that they not get bogged down in the mud or whatever substrate they're sitting on. Stokes basket has 2 sets of irons in it, so if someone for some reason gets off the truck without a tool, we do have a set of extra irons. We have a small man versus machine kit, so in here there's a bunch of wrenches, sockets, hammers, mallets, stuff like that. And then 2 saws that we always carry. We have chainsaw and our K12. So that's not tied down. We also have extra fuel, and we have scrunches as well. So if you need to do maintenance on site, we have those for use as well. And then on the other side compartment, I'll bring them around, we have a thermal camera and a pack tracker. So definitely want, if we're going interior, we definitely want these 2 so that we can be able to see, and we can also be able to, if the alarm on an air pack is going off, we will be able to help find them in the house or in the structure. So very important to have. There's also extra air bottles over here as well on this side. I believe on that side too. So, any questions on the equipment that's on engine 3 for our fasting? Any questions? No?
What instance would you use the ropes?
What instance would I use the ropes? There's a few instances that I can think of off the top of my head. One instance may be that we have to potentially send a firefighter. If the floor collapsed, we need to get a firefighter down into the floor. We can tie them off. Every firefighter should be carrying webbing and should know how to make a webbing.
A hasty harness.
What's that?
A hasty harness.
Yes, a hasty harness. And be able to tie that firefighter off, and that so that we can securely lower them down into the structure, or the hole in the floor of the structure, and then also be able to get said down firefighter out of that hole as well.
Big rope is for large area searches, string off. So
Yep.
if large area search, you're in a big open area. You want to be able to attach to a certain area, string off, do a sweep, and then come back to the same point.
Yep.
That's why we're.
Another good use for that big bag is to tie it off the front door, have that go with you. So now say for example, we're inside there, we enter our victim, and we need more resources. I can say, hey, follow this rope, that's where I'm at. They can grab that rope and just follow straight through. They don't got to go around searching. That rope is going to go from the front door where we entered to where we currently are. So if I say I need the Maverick tool, I need another 200 feet of rope like that, or something crazy, it's a quick follow this rope, walk right in. Wherever that rope goes, that's where we're going to end up. That's where that supplies are needed quickly.
Those are both great points. Thank you, guys. Nick?
Is there webbing in the basket or no?
There's not extra webbing in the basket. Ian?
Just to go with what was before, the rope can also be used in conjunction with ground ladders for getting firefighters out of like 2nd or 3rd story windows if you need to, if you're not be able to go back to the ground floor.
Yep. There's webbing in the hurt bag.
There's webbing in the red pack?
Yeah.
There's webbing in the red pack. One thing also that I was told to go over, so like I said on the board, our main channel for our fasting operations is going to be channel 6. So once this powers up, all you gotta really do is just change to, and this tells you what channel you're going to be on. So it's going to be designated as Lancaster Fireground F6. It's going to be labeled fast. So when we get on scene, that's going to be the channel that we're going to be on, and that's the channel that the crew's going to be talking on as well. Because we want to stay off the main channels and not clutter that up. But also, when a Mayday does go out, they will cease all chatter on whatever channel the Mayday goes out with it, or whether the fire channel is going to be, Fireground 1, Lancaster 1, or channel 2 through 3. So they will stop all chatter, and we'll be just designated from there. Any other questions, comments?
One quick thing. If you have all your equipment laid out on your cart, your chainsaw sitting there, your hand tools are sitting there, so I need to borrow your chainsaw. Tell them no. If that's the case, we need it. It's not for anybody else to use. That's our proof to the fast team only. Because if they have it, they're using it, you need it. What are you going to do?
Yes.
Our tools are our tools. We're not going to play nice with anybody else. Let them use theirs.
Yeah, Keith's right. Our tools are our tools. Nobody gets to touch them. Nobody gets to take them. So be very protective over our stuff. It has happened a couple times where people will come up and say, I need this, I need that. Like, no, you can't have it. It's ours. What are your own trucks?
Especially thermal cameras. They love bigger thermal cameras, and I need them or not.
Yep.
I don't know if you can answer this, or maybe it's a question for John, but are there any new companies that we're now going to be investing in that don't have shots?
Town Lines MSA, Blossom's a low air pressure, so our impact will work with their backs. To the best right now, everybody is Scott. So any Scott pack that's 2004 or 5 newer, it's going to have all the universal fittings for transfill buddy riggers. Other than that, A1 MSA will be universal transfill buddy rigger protection. The only thing we different is that our regulators will not fit an MSA. And also our new packs that are coming in later this month or the next month, completely new regulator, old packs won't work with that either. So there'll be a couple changes with that kind of stuff, and some SOP changes as we figure out how we want to address that.
The best way to get around all of that would be just to do a complete face swap. So that's what we're going to be practicing tonight, just for that event where we have to, because it could be that their face mask is completely destroyed. So it's just easier and better just to completely just change out the face mask in general.
I was just curious if there was any other departments that didn't have Scott.
Yep. Absolutely.
Dan, I just want to add one thing.
Yeah.
It's shown that a lot of times when firefighters go down, if it's something relatively simple, one of the many other people in the building will probably get them out before the fast team's needed. So if the fast team really is needed, don't be surprised if you're gonna face a relatively challenging rescue. So be prepared for that. Should we actually be needed, that it might be really challenging.
On top of that, when this Mayday does go out, everyone's going to want to stop what they're doing to go help. And hopefully the command and other officers from those companies are going to stop their people so that we can go in and do our job. Because if they start doing things, then they could cause more mayhem. It could cause the problem to be even bigger than if we were to just go in ourselves. So if we need help, we can ask for help, but for them to make the problem, worse and worse, is just going to make our days living hell. So.
There's also a first tool in the back of the truck that we could use also. Three thoughts.
Right.
So what Dan was talking about, if a firefighter goes down, it is going to be the responsibility of one of the chiefs that are there, or whoever the highest officers. That's kind of like that fast liaison between the operations command and us. We got to make sure that we're telling them, hey, you guys have to keep fighting the fire. Let us do the fast stuff. Get the fire out, because once the fire's out, that's one less hazard to worry about. They're going to want to help. They're going to cause chaos. It's going to be mayhem. So, but let the, whoever's the highest officer there, let them take care of talking to their command to fix that situation. We don't need all 6 guys in fast going after one person to keep fighting the fire. Your job is to get the firefighter out, highest ranking person, highest, like the chief there, that's gonna be their job to address the, keeping sure everyone else sound, they're doing their job.
Also, if a fast team's deployed, what else do we want?
No,
So we need another fast team, right? Just because the fast team's going in, doesn't mean that they won't be the fast team.
Right.
Once the fast team's deployed, there has to be another fast team on point. Whether that's our own team, right? We usually send enough manpower to have 2 fast teams. We are lucky usually for those that can call. You need to have another fast team in place.
just to piggyback off of what these guys are saying, the best way to keep another fire department from jumping on a job we're supposed to be doing is look like you're there to do the job. Have your gear on right, be ready to go, look professional, and be paying attention. And that'll give them the confidence of knowing that we know what we're doing, and we're gonna do a good job.
Anyone got anything else? And then anything else for about engine 3? No? Okay, let's go.
Pack tracker, Daniel, I want to bring up the red one, pack tracker. It doesn't know elevation, so if you're on the first floor of a building and you go to the spot where it says it is and the person's not there, they could be above you or they could be below you. So just a point of reference, it tells you where it is. It gives it's off a GPS location, but it doesn't have an elevation, so it doesn't know where you are compared to the person in the building.
Yep, and it also doesn't, it can't differentiate between walls either, so
Okay.
just something to think about as well, so.
That's why it's important if you ever do call Mayday, follow your lunar. First part is their location. I am on the first floor, I am on the second floor. It really helps out that fast team, whoever's trying to help you out, so you know where the hell you are.
Okay, let's go to, we'll go to Rescue 7. We're gonna check out the equipment there, see where it is on the truck, because it's not as well put together as it is on 3. Because Rescue 7, again, is our backup fast team truck, so. Alright, so like I said earlier, Rescue 7 is our second due, it's our backup fast team truck. If Engine 3 is on another fast team call, especially since our response area is widening, there's always a possibility we get 2 fast team calls. So, like I said earlier, all of our fast team equipment on this truck is spread out because it's not all put together in one spot, but I'll show you where exactly it is. So our saws are going to be on the driver's side, they're going to be first compartment, and that's going to be, you're going to find your chainsaw and your K-12 as well. They're there, they have fuel, and they have scratches as well with them. Your pack tractor and the thermal camera. There's 2 thermal cameras right at the back of in the crew cab area. So you want to make sure that if you get off, you want to grab those. Those are seated right behind the 2 seats on the back wall right before you go into the walkway. So you can find these items there. Remember to grab a flashlight and also your radio when you're getting off the truck. Next would be the Stokes basket. Stokes basket is found in this compartment here. There is a backboard in there as well. So, yeah, backboard. So, when you go and bring it out, there might be other stuff in there. Right now we have some of the splints as well. Just take those out. You know, put them back either in the carbon or put them in the walkway, and you know, you can reconfigure afterwards. But make sure you guys get that Stokes basket out. We don't have a cart for it like we do on Engine 3. Just mainly due to not having the room for it, but you're just gonna have to carry your Stokes basket like old times. And then back here as well, on the first compartment, right side, right side first compartment, there's going to be the ropes. They're the same ropes as what we use for ice water rescue, and then there's also the RIT pack there as well. So those are going to be the main things, and then there's also plenty of axes and Halligans on the truck before you get off, and then there's also the Halligan pull-up drawer as well for the different size Halligans as well. So that's mainly, that's going to be the majority of your fasting equipment off 7. Any questions on equipment wise or 7 or where things are? Yes, no? No?
So just a general bit of knowledge. The thermal camera holders in the truck, they are just holders. The batteries, they come out, front and back you squeeze, you pull really hard and hope that it comes out, so never wants to come out right. But then there's a little bit, there's a little spot next to it where another battery's charging. So when these are mounted, they're not charging. The battery's dead, you gotta grab another battery, put a new battery in these. I put the old one on the charger. The little back and forth strap here is attached to the battery, I believe, not the actual device itself. Nope, I lied.
That's the device.
That's the device. That's all I got.
Okay. Any questions, comments for me?
I will say, if it has that little lanyard there for the cameras, use them because we lost them. Warble, I don't know. Somebody lost them.
Someone lost them.
We found it though.
A day later, still working, buried in slush.
It's all Warble's fault though.
Okay, so now that we have, now that we know equipment-wise where everything is on both 3 and 7, the main part of this show, the hands-on part for you guys, we're going to go through changing or putting a mask on someone when they're down, when, you know, they can't help you if they're unconscious or a cardiac issue. So we're going to go through that. Yeah, go ahead.
Does the action putting on?
Yeah, the extra. Not yet. That's your job. At what point?
I'm outside, I can't.
Yeah, sure. Turn the
My other gloves, I gave them to me, they were like, oh, like I used my fingers with the 4 fingers.
Not quite there yet.
But we're good.
We're good? All right. So, a couple things before we get to actually doing the mask. One thing is, I forgot to mention that if you're not fasting qualified, if you're not interior qualified, you know, please do still show up to the hall. You know, please still respond to the call because afterwards there's going to be a lot of rehab, especially if the fasting is deployed inside. There's going to be a lot of, you know, repackaging of ropes, or there could be refueling of the saws, and just fatigue is going to be real, especially if our guys have to go to work. So just make sure, really appreciate it if people do show up for these calls. And if you're not fasting qualified, if you're not interior qualified, and there's still a spot on the truck, don't be afraid to get on, because we could have people that are gophers for the fast team, you know, if there's something that they need off the truck specifically. So don't be afraid to respond. And another thing is, if you're inside, in your interior, and you do hear the emergency tones go off to evacuate the building, or you do get the victim, don't drop your tool. Don't drop your tool, don't lose your tool. We have run into that issue where, you know, you might get to a wall and you don't have anything to get through the wall with. So just make sure that you do have a tool. Will help make your life easier. So other than that, getting to it, when you get on scene, a good practice to do is turn on the RIP pack before you're even deployed, so that you don't have to worry about trying to fumble with it with your gloves on. And another thing, besides having webbing, thank you, webbing in there, and the bolt cutters, there's also there's more webbing in here as well in the housing. You have this ring rope, so that you can tie this off around someone and drag them out as well.
So here's what that is. It's actually really cool. Red's for the legs, so the red one goes around the legs, yellow one goes through the arms, green one pulls up tight, and that's your part that you grasp onto. You drag it from that, or you hook up with a carabiner and pull them out. It's a, I forgot what it's actually called, but where's the bag? That works really good at that. The bag that's in
It's the mast. The sling link.
And then the green part is that's your drag strap, or that's your securing strap if you want to hook up to a carabiner for a quick low angle rescue like that. Like, drag them out the window, piece of rope, lower them down with the pole.
Yep. And as you can see from Alan's little dance there, it's not going to be comfortable for whoever, but they're going to be happy by the end of it that you got them out, even if they're going to be uncomfortable. So.
Lean over your wrist. No. Tip your hat there.
But there's also that in there.
Good job. There you go.
Yes, it does look like it. Mega mover and a collar as well. We have a collar as well, just in case there is a head, neck, spinal injury we need for immobilization. So.
Can't be used, no matter.
That's it? Alright, so we have one of our explorers, Josh here. We have Alan, we have firefighter Alan here. They're both here to demonstrate how to do a full face piece removal and application. Josh is going to lay there unconsciously, and Alan's going to go to work. What you want to do is you're going to want to get their helmet off. You're going to want to get their helmet off, pull their hood back, and get their face piece off. Now their face piece could be compromised for a number of reasons. Could be from trauma, blunt force trauma to the face piece itself, or it could be from extreme heat and the face piece is melted. Just any kind of compromise to the face piece. Would be one of the reasons that we get this off. Do you need assistance?
Remember guys, the face mask removal and replacement is an absolute last resort. This is one of the most dangerous things we'll ever do in our passenger stuff.
Even if the face mask has been compromised, it is providing some protection.
What you're going to do is you're going to make sure all the straps are loosened, and you're going to flip the mesh netting from the back. You're going to flip that over the front of the mask. And then you're going to position it right underneath the firefighter's face. And then you're trying to you're going to try and get a seal on the firefighter's face and pull that mesh back. Breathe, Josh, breathe.
Not breathing enough, obviously.
There it is. All right, now we have positive pressure. Another seal. Alan's going to tighten up the straps on the face mask now. We are going to get ready to get this guy out. Now, like talking earlier, there is a couple different ways to get the firefighter out. We use a sling lock. We use webbing for a harness, like we would for bringing someone down into like a collapsed area. Or what we could do is we could have multi-firefighter grab, where few under the arms, few between the legs, and just push them out. That's fine. It's over here. All right. Any questions on face piece swap techniques? Ian,
I just had a couple things.
please.
If for whatever reason you have to do a face piece swap on a firefighter who's still conscious, One thing you can do is you can ask them to hold their breath while you quickly switch the mask. And once you get the mask transferred over, open up the purge so you can get rid of all the smoky air out of it so they don't take a breath of hot air and smoky air.
Yep.
But for whatever reason, you have to do that.
You want that? Bobby, Shelby. One thing too, I didn't hear you mention it, it's the only reason I bring it up.
Please.
Just turn around. Right here, it's built into everybody's gear. Grab it and go. All right? Now, I'll take this around. I'm gonna pull it back.
So that also does bring up a good point. When you guys have water wash your jackets, make sure that both your arms, the inside liner goes through the drag device. If it's not, you pull it, it's gonna go whoop, right out. Same with your harness and your legs. If you don't know what I'm talking about, I will show you, gladly show you afterwards after the drill. Put the harness inside your gear.
Yeah, if you take your gear apart and you don't know how to put it back together, grab me, grab Jeff, grab somebody. It's really not that hard.
But it's also
Pretty simple.
very important.
If it's not in right, we'll know. Everybody turn around. So far, it looks good. Good job. All right, what's everybody?
It had nothing to do with the harness.
Absolutely nothing.
Very good. Again, any questions on that before we get started and everyone goes through it? No? Anything to add, Chiefs?
You guys go over transcoat?
No. All right. I'm not that good on transcoat.
So, since 2004, every single air pack is universal with the transcoat adapter as well as the money breather adapter. Money breather and transcoat, those can be our first go-to option to help a firefighter out. Usually they need air, if we can. They're all going to be roughly the same spot, they're all the exact same universal fitting.
Even MSA?
Yes. Even MSA.
MSA, Draeger, Eastern Hunka's airbag, any airbag that NFPA recommends is universal, unless they have one from like 1920s.
Okay. Take the hose, quick connect, push in, there it is.
You'll hear a big rush of air that goes through. This has the same amount of air that's actually in this tank. Once the air is completely in, you can actually, you're gonna do, push in, this little knob right here, pull back, and you release, and then you don't have to be staying connected to the tank with this. So all it is just actually filling his tank with this tank, and then we can just still drag them out. We don't have to worry about this being attached to it. Compared to the face piece, or if we have the buddy breather that's over here, they have to be connected to it. If they're on the buddy breather, I figure that's gonna be the next step. What you're gonna do, they're not gonna line up like this, all right? Just make sure they're offset, push them in together, and you'll be connected, all right? Now at this point, you have to stay connected to this bag, because what it's gonna do, it's gonna start taking the air, whatever has the most air in which bottle, and use it off of that first. So this has more air in it, and what it's gonna do, it's gonna go to that. See, now if you have two firefighters that need air, you can go up to, only up to two. You can go up to more, but they highly recommend not doing it just because you're gonna lose a lot of air pressure.
That's good. If you're doing more than two, that's the, oh shit, we gotta do something right now.
Yes.
We own like a little bit of air, like Morgan has almost a full bottle because he's in good shape, and then me and Matter, and then we suck our whole bottle down in 10 minutes.
So you can do the same thing, just connect it. It doesn't, I would have connected to the bigger bottle, and there you go. So now these guys can go out, but they're gonna be still connected to this.
And each other.
So how Buddy Breather works, whatever bottle's currently highest, it will lead off that pad. So say that Morgan's bottle's at 4,000 and Josh and that's at 3,000. We'll continue to go off Morgan's bottle until he is 3,000, and then it'll go between them until whoever's the highest will always be the one they're bleeding off of. The transfill is going to equalize the pressure. So if Josh's bottle's at 0, that's at 4,500. The first fill off that 1 hour bottle is going to roughly fill up almost a full half-hour bottle. After that, it's going to keep equalizing half pressures until that's just about empty or there's just no more left to equalize to.
Any questions on that, the rapid fill or the buddy breather?
Another thing going off with the transfill and the buddy breathers, if you guys are going through the packs, make sure that these seals are on them. Just make sure they don't get any dirt, grime, or anything in it. You'll also see on the transfill the pack that actually has it too. The buddy breather on it doesn't, but it's already going to be pre-connected to the face piece.
So with the base piece attached, you can connect another buddy breather to it still. So definitely try out using the buddy breather and the transfill with your gloves on. I know for me personally, attaching the buddy breather is a little bit of a tricky thing because you got to get that right thing and push it while pulling one part back. So definitely give it a try. It's a good skill to have.
Comment related. Anything from you guys? Anything from you guys? No? All right, we're going to split up into 2 groups. One group with me, one group with Brent. We're just going to go over these skills. So just equalize it. So we're going to be going over how to get a victim out. We're going to be going over, again, we're just going to break off into groups, guys. We're going to be one station you're going to be using this. You're actually going to pull the patient around. And then we're also going to be going over how to make a safety harness out of your webbing as well. Does anyone want to demonstrate how to make a safety harness? Alan does.
Bear in mind, your webbing should already be tied in a water knot. If it's not, we can work on that some other times. Come and see me, we'll show you how to do that. It's a pretty simple thing to do.
Alright, first things first, you're going to make sure that your loop, you have a big circle. You want him to bring down.
Yeah. Sure, yeah. Grab board.
What you're going to do is you're going to make a big X. Like this. So you're going to have one leg go through here, and the other leg is going to go through the other side. And I will tell you this much, this thing is going to be more uncomfortable compared to that. Once you get it done, you're just going to, once this is over his leg, just twist it for it has another X. This part of the hole is going to go through his leg, his arm.
Same deal on the other side.
Same thing on the other side.
Got X, that is
I know.
Yeah.
Once you have it, you'll have 2 loops here. If you're not lowering anybody down, you can just drag them out like this. But if you are going to be lowering somebody down,
You want to tie them off.
you're going to tie a knot. Like this is in the rip pack. There is another one in that one. You would have another overhand knot on this. This one's just a little bit shorter. But then once you're done, you would clip in your carabiner right here underneath the knot. Bring them out like that.
That's a drag.
So, there's also this. Spin around. You can clip it on the actual handle of the bag, or of the pack. Now you actually have actual handles that you can drag them, or if you need to stay low,
So if that handle might be a fail point. Yeah. So you might want to try to loop in a strap too if you can.
it's carabiner not big enough.
So these straps are only as good as these straps are, right? So if you're really yanking on something, that is a fail point. So if you can grab a strap in it as well.
Take this.
Oh, that too.
Only issue with that is can compromise his breathing, right? The speed of the lungs. But you're just trying to get him the hell out of there, right?
Doesn't have to be pretty.
Whatever you have to do to get them out,
As long as you leave the clothes on, it's all that matters.
If you're gonna pull from the pack, you wanna do a different kind of packaging.
I got it.
If you're gonna use the harness,
You gotta get a leg involved.
yeah.
all right, so if you're gonna drag them out by this pack, what you're gonna do, you're gonna loosen up the straps of the pack. So the arms, loosen up the leg all the way, or around the waist. Unbuckle them. Try to slide the pack down as far as you can get it. Take the strap, go underneath his one leg, through his legs. Buckle them back in, cinch this down. Cinch those down. The reasoning for that is that now if you're going to be dragging the pack, you have the strap that goes around your waist actually between the person's leg, and the pack's just not going to slide right out.
But you should be doing that anyways, because the same thing, I think. Whether you wrap that strap with the cord or you do it that way, he could still do this and use the pack. So that should probably be your first step before you do anything else, any other drags. So it doesn't come out of that.
The webbing you don't have to.
Well, that one, yeah.
Yeah, if you're gonna clip those handles into the actual pack, you definitely should do that this way too. I think that's it. You can unbuckle yourself if you want. Yeah. If you can.
Any questions on those? We're gonna go through those real quick. Questions? Yes, no? All right, cool. So again, two groups, group over here, group over there, strap, and we're gonna go through the tracks.